Generational trauma is the reason for why I've been so hard on myself my entire life. And perhaps you're the same way. Let me say, it's not your fault. I remember this one story in particular where I was in middle school. I was playing volleyball. It was not really that serious. Let me take out an AirPod. I'm not even listening to anything. Oops, sorry if I blew your ears out. I was in middle school playing volleyball. I did some club volleyball, but it was just for like a school game. Not everyone played club. Not everyone was taking it as seriously as I was. And I remember every single play because my dad would be watching right in the sidelines. He wasn't even a coach. He was just a really involved helicopter parent that he was. And I appreciate that he showed up to every single game. Okay, I do. I'm in middle school for a sake. Okay? And I remember every good point, every bad point, I would look over to my dad for validation, for approval. And was it the good plays that I did as the setter, the main person who's just running around, setting opportunities so people could spike the ball? And we're in middle school, so who was really spiking the ball? Do I remember those? Nope. I remember the bad plays. And looking over my dad shaking his head in disapproval. He was not amused. At times, he would just be straight up yelling at me. Bro, I'm being coached by my dad, not even by my actual coach, but by my dad. He's like, you should be doing this. You should be running faster. Your footwork was awful. And I would be so hard on myself. And then my dad doesn't know this. But actually, my coach took me to the side and said, Spencer, like, you're our best player. You are the team captain, for sake. You are the leader. But I also need to say this to you. Your dad loves you. He's involved, and that's amazing. More so than some of the other kids on the team. But at the same time, I want to say, you're really hard on yourself. I know this is your dad, and you're going to value what he has to say to you way more than probably me. But let me say, I'm proud of you. You're a good kid. You're doing good. You're doing the best that you can. And that's good enough for me. So why am I telling you this story? Well, when you're a kid, you don't really know any better. You might not even know what's good, what's bad, what you should have in your life. You don't really develop that skill of thinking, this is what I want in my life. Hey, look at my eyes. Look at my eyes right now. What do you see? They're slanted. Oh, you probably didn't think I was going to go in that direction. Bro, my eyes are slanted. I'm Asian. Okay? Now, the stereotypes that you probably have about Asians, if you're Asian yourself or you're not, probably true. Yeah. It was always not pushed as hard as it is with some of my other people I know, but it was always pushed like, yeah, be a doctor, be a lawyer, make a lot of money, go to school. I didn't have that intuitive self-articulation and own development of my own thoughts. Growing up, it was mostly influenced by my caregivers, my parents, my guardians. So I grew up thinking, I need to go to school. I love school. I need to go to school to get a job. If I don't get a job, and it's the slippery slope fallacy, of course. But now, as you get older, you're like, you know what? I can tell what I want in my life and what I don't want. I like that, and I don't have to follow tradition, whatever it may be, right? My point is, I was so hard on myself, and maybe you too. You probably think about the perception of others, and I think that's totally fair. But it shouldn't be from everyone. You can't please everyone. And let alone, family is a hard one. Family is such a hard one. Because you want to make your family proud. I don't know your situation, but you probably want to make your family proud. You want to make them happy. You probably want to provide for them or be self-sufficient and not be so dependent on them. And because your parents raised you, because your caregivers raised you, your abuelos, your tias, whatever it may be, I dropped some Spanish, my fault. they have this internal obligation, this expectation of being like, I helped raise you, so I know what's best for you, and you should listen to what I say. Hey, but as you get older, you don't have to necessarily listen to them. I mean, you could. I mean, of course, I still value what my parents say, but I also value what I have to say and what I think. Growing up, I remember more so than not the hard times, the hard life lessons. Granted, I'm grateful for my life, good and bad. But I really let my negative, quote unquote negative, I do like the fingers, but I'm holding the microphone. The negative, there we go, experiences really shape me. I want it to be a point of reference. And I reflect on all the times I was feeling scared. I was feeling sad. I was feeling like I wasn't good enough. I was feeling like a disappointment. I love my parents. But my dad was really hard on me. He was really hard on my brother too. He expected a lot from us. I grew up playing 11 different sports in a year. And hey, my dad played D1 tennis and on top of that, so many other sports. So for sports for us as a kid, that means a lot, right? It's the big thing you're doing. My dad would influence me and my brother so well. And he would say, oh, you just want to play soccer? Oh, you don't want to win though? Why wouldn't you want to win? What are you, a loser? And you're a kid and you're like, damn, I guess I want to win. Yeah, I guess I'll stay after practice after all my friends left, and I'll practice an hour after everyone left and practice on my shooting, practice on my volleyball serves, practice on my whatever. I just want to go home and play some Minecraft. No, you can't play Minecraft. I mean, you could play Minecraft, but you're a loser. I'm like, okay. So, growing up, my brother and I played so many sports growing up. And we would be so hard when we failed because we knew we were disappointing our dad. It wasn't even about us disappointing ourselves. Like, we had to play sports to win. That's what it was for us. That's what it was for my dad, too. We weren't allotted time to just do things for fun. You either do it really well and win, or you don't do it at all. There's no... And this is something, like, honestly, it's something my brother might even get tatted on him, because he got called this so much growing up. Half-ass. Half-assed, okay? You don't do things half-assed in this household. You either go full in, or you don't do it at all. Okay, Dad. I'm wiping away the tears. And I was so hard growing myself. Growing up, I was so hard. I was my own biggest critic. And I was influenced. I was shaped by my dad that much. And I mentioned sports so much because it transitioned to everything in life. I was bad at math. I was bad at writing. I could barely read. And I would get so hard on myself. I can't do it. I'm so bad. Why do I even try? Right. Little Spencer, you're 7 years old. It's okay that you don't really know your addition. Like, take the time you need, let's be patient with it. You don't have to call yourself bad names like doo-doo head because you can't do math. It's part of the journey, okay? And so I mentioned all of this to you to let you know you need to bless your younger self. It has gotten you to where you are now. It's brought you to this video, it's brought you to this stage of life, to this job, to this school, to the opportunities you have now. It's also brought you with this mindset of what you currently have. Of you being your own biggest critic. Bless yourself. Is the biggest critic really you? Or is it the influence of things that have been with you since childhood? For me, I understand, hey, my biggest critic is my dad. But I also want to say, understand where they're coming from. It might not excuse the behaviors or the things said to you or how you're treated. But when you kind of understand the perspective, you could give it a little more grace. I'm not saying that's right. I'm not making excuses for them treating you poorly growing up. But give yourself some grace. Okay? I understand my dad. He was my biggest critique growing up because his dad was his biggest critique growing up. My dad went through way worse than I did growing up. Way worse. And he was just trying the best that he could to what he thought would make two strong, independent men growing up. And yeah, I can say that because here I am. I'm in Barcelona right now. I made this life all by myself, pretty much, right? I appreciate my privileges in life, but also I worked hard for everything. I worked hard for all the scholarships I've gotten because I was hard on myself. And that was shaped by my dad. That was shaped by my mom. Shaped by my other family members who love me. And also my friends. It's probably the same for you. But I also, for myself and even you, I don't want you to criticize everything you do. It's okay to just do things for fun or be bad at it. It's okay to be a beginner. Not be the best at it. It takes time to get good at things. It takes time to just relearn. That's okay. You don't need to put yourself down for it. You're not anything less because of it. Maybe you are because that's what your parents tell you. It's what your loved ones tell you. But give yourself grace. You could always change your situation. It might be hard. It might feel like there's no way. But that's the tunnel vision you have. That's from the critique of the people around you in life saying you can't do it. You can do it. But it starts with having a mindset that tells you where I am is a result of the cards that I was dealt that was beyond my control. Whether that was you growing up, you were put in a position that you didn't ask for. Give yourself grace. Understand that your younger childhood self was just doing what the younger version of your younger self was doing what they could to get by, to do and live life the way they knew and how they were raised and taught. You can always change it. It might take time to change some of these behaviors and beliefs, but you can change it. But don't be your biggest critique. God, I hate when I was younger I did that. It's just where you were. You can't change the past. And the future hasn't come yet, so why are you trying to plan for the future? You're in the present moment right now. You can only focus on what you're doing now. You can kind of shape the future a little bit with kind of focusing on self-awareness now. It's okay to be patient. It's okay to be where you are now. If you want to change your life, then yeah, think about ways how you can do that. But first and foremost, don't condemn your past. Would you have done things differently? Yeah, probably. But if you were doing those things in the past, you probably had a reason to. It felt good. I liked it. I thought it was the way for me to get what I wanted. And use that and learn. As much as I hated that, I didn't love that experience. It was beyond factors and people. That wasn't me. It's where I was. And I don't want to be there. But I'm going to give myself grace. Give your younger self grace. Be gentle with that inner child of yours. Because at the end of the day, it's your life. It's your life. You might have the obligation and expectation to provide for your family. Absolutely do that. And that's what I'm trying to do, right? I'm trying to create this life where I could retire my mom and dad. But I grew up so hard on myself. Whether this was last week, last month, a few years ago, me playing middle school sports where it wasn't even that deep, honestly. If you were talking to your younger self, would you be as hard on them as others, maybe your parents, were on you? No. You'd say, hey, you're doing a good job. Trust. Trust. Stop hating where you came from. I mean, you kind of could, right? But understand, these are the cards you've been dealt, and those are the cards you were dealt when you were younger. You're playing it to the best you could. You played it then the best that you could too. You didn't know any better. And that's the learning experience of life. Give your younger self grace. Be gentle with yourself. It's okay. You will be okay. And you know that because you're here now. The hard things that have happened, yeah, they've happened. And you got through it because you're here now. You're getting through it now. I'm sure more hard things might come by, but you will get through that too. But you have to be kind with yourself. You have to be gentle. Would you talk to your friends the way you talk about and to yourself? No. If your friend's going through a hard breakup, you'd say, hey, it's okay to be going through this hard breakup. It's okay that you got let go. It sucks. But you'll get through it. I love you. I support you. I want what's best for you. But don't beat yourself up for it. Do what you can to change the situation and find happiness. So if you're telling your friends that, your best friends, your cousins, let me ask you this. Why wouldn't you tell yourself that? If you want to talk to me one-on-one, hey, you can go click that link down below. It's like the first link. Or if you want to join my Discord that I have with my brother Malik, we have a community of over 3,000 individuals. It's called Purpose Driven Men, where we essentially just connect with other like-minded individuals who want to make a difference in their life. Be a purpose-driven man. Or if you want to watch another video, go ahead, watch another video. It'll pop up sometime soon. But until the next time, my name is Spencer, and I will see you later. Bye.